Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Beach Boss. As you got the up close and personal view of the Beach Boss himself, Mr. Billy Koch, the founder and managing partner of the Little Red Feather Racing Club, and our current Beach Boss reigning champion. Wait, that was just a cup last week. What did you add to the cup? Is that like the Balnikov ball?
Yeah, we now have a beach ball in the cup for the Beach Boss.
Is every week we're going to get like something else added?
Well, yeah, as long as I keep winning, sure.
All right.
Because this is not going to our special guest.
Oh, speaking of our special guest, let's bring him in because he wants to get down to Smack Talk too. It is TV's Mike Joyce. Mike, are you on vacation? What's the deal? Where are you right now?
No, I'm just, my little lean-to here. I have a Del Mar Country Club.
All right, so Billy's on the beach. I'm in an RV in the trailer park, and Mike Joyce is in a lean-to at the Del Mar Country Club.
Yeah, here, you can get a nice little view.
Look at that.
Here's my,
Look at that.
Sure.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you buying breakfast after this, Mike?
No, it's not my house. I got a sticker to get in the front gate, and I just found the first yard I could and jumped on the Wi-Fi. So if I get carried out of here in cuffs, I don't know why.
That's awesome. If you guys don't know who Mike Joyce is, he is TVG extraordinaire. You see him hosting, you see him reporting, you see him giving you all the facts and all of the funnies as well. He's one of my favorite people. He held my hand the very first day I was ever on TV. So I love you, Mike Joyce, and I know all of our viewers do as well. Just to let you guys know what's going on, this is Beach Boss, where we have a featured race every single week, and we're all going to go head to head with $100 to see who comes out on top. If you want to play along at home, it is free to do so. We're going to give you that Hunsky. You just log on to dmtc.com/contests, and it is free to play every single day. So I want to recap our opening weekend because Billy had to pick his horse because he owns him, but it wound up being a great thing.
Yes, it was a very good thing. Balnikov came through, great ride by Umberto Rispoli, and I got lucky. So we'll call it luck week one, but it was a kind of a dominant performance, as you can see. Kenny Mayne, if you're watching, sorry, sucker.
For me too. Peter Miller screwed me up. If it wasn't for Peter Miller, I would have been okay.
Yeah, well, Mike Joyce, I think, can do better than Kenny Mayne. I'm just going to predict it. I'm going to predict, Michelle, that we're going to have to put up some numbers this week to hold Mike Joyce and his tight T-shirt off.
Oh, Mike Joyce and his tight
T-shirt. Guns! Wow. Why don't you just go no? Why don't you go no shirt at all,
Mike? Before you get naked on the show, hold on here. I gotta know what's your favorite part about being at Del Mar.
It's going to be cliche. It is the racing. I have to say that, but just because this time of year, the whole industry is looking for this time of year in California. We like do the countdown clock from January 1 until Del Mar starts, and the racing shows that. And I think that the way the entries have come through the first week and a half, we've seen there's 200 horses for the Ship and Win. There's just a lot of influx. And look, we've got some dog days in the spring in California where we're fighting through 5-horse fields and 8-race cards, and it's just an embarrassment of riches when we come down to Del Mar like this. So the racing, and then the second thing I would have to say is it's a party. It's so festive. It doesn't matter if you're in the suites with, Dave Kenny or Eric Johnson, or on the veranda with Billy Koch, or in the trailer park with a bottle of Vouv with Michelle Yu. It's great. I mean, I even shaved my chest for this time of year, right?
Yeah. You look amazing. You really do look good. Are you working out? Are you
on something?
Yeah. There's something in the steroids these days. No, what happened was, the reason I look so good, I got COVID. And I was in quarantine in my house, and I was dependent on my wife for all food and drink.
Well, she doesn't cook.
Well, she does cook, but she doesn't cook for someone who brought COVID into the house when she's watching the 3-year-old working full time. So, and also, if you've ever met my wife, she weighs about 106 pounds soaking wet. So she doesn't require a lot of sustenance. So she just fed me as she ate. And so I called it my Guantanamo Bay diet, because I'm pretty sure.
She's like, here's a glass of wine and some crackers.
Yeah. I was eating less than the terrorists in Cuba. So I was either going to test negative on day 7, or I was going to confess to terrorist attacks in London. So I mean, I was that hungry. So that's my story.
All right, that's what I need to do then. I need to go move in with Dina for 7 days.
You look
great.
Have
Have her be reliant. And she wouldn't give me water either. One day I was like texting her, like, honey, it's noon. I haven't had a drink of water yet. And she's like, you're fine. So.
The best part is, if you're watching this is a true story, I think. Like, this is not exactly.
100%. 100%.
All right, so let's jump right into the handicapping now that we know a little bit more about Mike Joyce and his diet plan. And I think that there might be rooms available at Casa de Joyce if you were looking to shred a little bit right now. The feature races today, race number 10. It is the Grade 2 San Diego, the race that we're going to be talking about. We also have a co-feature on the card. It is the Bing Crosby, and it is a Breeders' Cup win and you're in race. That's the first Breeders' Cup win and you're in race of the Del Mar meet. There are more to come, but the San Diego is really setting up our older horses for the Pacific Classic. And I think that what we have here is a really interesting and intriguing bunch. We've got shippers, we've got local horses, we've got the Dubai World Cup winner back in action stateside. So, Billy, as you are the reigning beach ball boss, I'm going to let you give the picks first.
Okay. This is, like Michelle said, this is a very good edition of the San Diego, because you really can make a case for each and every horse in here. So what I decided to do was try to find a little value. And I like, sometimes I figured Country Grammar is going to get a lot of attention. I think he's going to go off favored in here. He might be a big favorite. I like using the other Baffert, and that's Defunded. Cedillo knows this horse well, drew well inside, and has speed. This race is only 1 mile and a 16th. I figure he's going to get the lead. Mike Joyce is a big thoroughgraph guy. Put some thought into this. He in his last 2 races, he's done what it's called paired ones. And while a couple other horses are maybe a little faster with zeros, and Tripoli had run some negative numbers, Royal Ship is running ones, Country Grammar runs negative ones, but I like Defunded on the inside, getting an early lead, Cedillo taking control of this race, spurting clear around the far turn, and then holding off probably horses like Mandaloon and his stablemate Country Grammar. And that's where I landed. And strategically, like I did last week, I'm going to go 30 across the board, win, place, and show on Defunded. Now, you might say, well, that's only $90. I have a long shot special, and Michelle and I talked about this actually yesterday, and so you're probably not surprised. Parnelli, the 6, is going to be a giant price in here. I'm taking my last $10 just in case we all miss, and I'm putting it to show on Parnelli, the 6. And he's got a very nice pattern. He just won impressively. He ran against There Goes Harvard 2 back and dead heated. Now that was a good race. So this horse is steadily improving, giant price. One more note about Defunded. If you go back to August of last year, he likes this racetrack, won by 9 that day in an allowance race here at Del Mar. So Defunded is kind of my key, not kind of, he is my key, and Parnelli, my little show bet, just in case. Thank you.
Very nice. Okay, Billy coming out with guns a-blazing with one decent price and one good price. Mike Joyce, I'm going to pass the baton on to you, my friend. What are you doing with your Hunsky?
All right, so I'm keeping it real simple on the wager. I'm just going to do a straight win bet.
It's like having Ray Pollock back.
Ray Pollock is here.
Well, here's the thing. I think I'm going to get the price I want, and I feel like I've seen this movie before. There's no question nobody has worked through the handicap division in California better than Sadler over the last half a decade. And I'm just going to go straight up $100 to win on Tripoli. So wow. Also thoroughgraph numbers. He's got the numbers to go back to. I'm with you. I understand with the fund. He paired up once. He's supposed to run through that number. So he's probably, if he does, it's going to be a 0, a -0.5, -1, something like that. That puts him right in the mix. Country Grammar, I was on in the Dubai World Cup, but I'm with you, Billy. He's going to be too short of a price. He's a very good horse. I have nothing bad to say about him, but this is a wide open affair. And you look at Tripoli's last race. The track notes are a little deceptive. It says he was in tight in the first turn. I didn't really see that. He sat a perfect trip, and then when they got for home, he just had a wall of horses in front of him, and he had to swing out. When he finished 4th, but when he swung out, he actually closed in that final 8th. They came home in 11-3, and he was closing into that. I know he's a Kitten's Joy, so he's supposed to like the turf, but he doesn't really have a turf burst or that turn of foot where they just explode away. And he was in a pretty decent gear throughout, but he didn't really get to let his run out for the whole race. I think it was a perfect prep. I think that race is going to set him up. He's got the numbers to run back to. He won the Pacific Classic. He loves this racetrack. And I think he's that good. And I think he's a little bit forgotten about because of, you've got a Derby winner coming in Mandaloon. You've got Country Grammar coming off the Dubai World Cup. You got the other Baffert. So those horses are going to get some play. So I think I'm going to get my 6-1. I might get 7-1. I might get 8-1. So at that point, instead of trying to, because I could be, scattered like a week's wash if I start putting 10 on this and 20 on this, and I'd be all over the place. So I just kept it simple. $100 to win with Tripoli. I think I'm going to get every bit of that morning line and probably more.
If he wins, you win. There's no doubt.
Right.
Unless Michelle, because Michelle's not doing that. And you're exactly right. I mean, he won the Pacific Classic here. He likes this track. That was obviously a prep. And he lost to a good horse. Hong Kong Harry's coming back tomorrow in the Eddie Reed. So not like that race wasn't a good race. I like it, Mike. I like that you just go for it.
All right, and I decided to spread. I knew what Billy was doing. I wanted to jump in on some of that action. Not with the Parnelli thing. I didn't know what you were going to do with Defunded, but I ended up doing place and show bets on a couple horses that I thought could do well, and that was the angle. I wanted to go spread city because I didn't think that this was a race that we could have. I had a very strong opinion in just liking one horse. I was really hardly looking at Stiletto Boy just because he had some back class, but overall I was like, meh. So I ended up doing $10 to place and show on Country Grammar. I think overall this race is too short for him. It is a perfect prep for the Pacific Classic, but I think that he could grind out, with class alone, an on the board finish. So I wanted to do place and show on him. I also did the same on Parnelli. Like you mentioned, his last two races really good. I put $10 place and show on Mandaloon. I'm kind of a Mandaloon hater, so I didn't put him up to win. But I wanted to say, could he hit the board? Yes. And it's strictly because I think he really likes the mile and 16th distance. The two races he actually finished in front of, or in front at the wire, were both mile and a 16th affairs. So I did that. And with my remainder, I did $20 to win place on Defunded.
Oh,
so I spread it out.
You are so spread.
Cover.
This is what she wants, Mike. This is what she covets.
I do. I want to pour this into that.
All right, let's do it.
That's what I want to do. All right.
Mexico in the trophy.
Real quick, you guys, before we jump off, I mentioned earlier the Bing Crosby. If you guys have any thoughts about it, would love to hear them. It's our first Breeders' Cup win in your in race for the Del Mar meet. And while it doesn't have a superstar, it does have a lot of up-and-coming sprint horses, and I feel like we have a throne to be filled.
Yeah, Michelle.
You go first, Billy. I'm gonna go with a shocking upset. So you go first, Billy.
Oh, I have prices too. I'm going to probably use the 3 Bag Boss for Brendan Walsh on the ship-in. And I'm going to use the outside horse, Get Her Number, for my good friend Gary Barber. Pete Miller trains Ramon Vasquez. This horse should get the outside post, I think, is really important here. I think there will be some speed up front. They might all gone, and this horse should get a nice tracking position while outside. You're going to get a big price on both of those horses, and those are the two I'll be keying.
All right, so, my choice.
Yeah, so I'm with him on Bag Boss. I think that horse is live here.
Basically, we're annihilating that horse's price, right? Like every show is talking about him.
This show is watched by like over 10 million people.
Yes.
Well, 12 million today, whether they bring my minions in. So here's the deal. You look at how Beat's form. You go 2 races back after he wins that allowance event, right?
Yeah,
after he wins that if that was the last running line going into the Bing, what would his morning line be? 5-1?
Well, it was 7-1. We tried him in the Pat O'Brien and he failed, and then he went to the sideline for 6 months.
Right. So I'm saying if he has that race under you, if you owned him, you probably know more than I do. But if he has that race as his last race going in, he's going to be 5-1. He lost the rider last time out. The Pat O'Brien, he had to go to the sideline for 6 months. So there's excuses in his last 2 running lines that completely muddy up the form. And Mark Glatt, he got his first grade one of his career in this race a few years ago. I think he's got a horse. Look, would they have liked the horse to finish with a rider on his back last time out? Yes, but clearly I think they were pointing to this race with that as a prep in mind, and I think he's that good. So I'm going to go with him, and I don't know how the wagering is going to go. I don't think he gets 20-1, but I think he's going to be some pretty good value on the board.
I think you're going to get every bit of 20-1. I talked to Mark Glatt this morning, and I said, whose idea was this to run here? And he looked at me and he said, mine. So there you go.
Billy and I did a show yesterday, my choice, and I really liked How Be It. I actually loved his Lost the Rider prep race, what he showed in that. And Billy also told me I was crazy there too. So I'm so glad that someone else likes How Be It besides me. Makes me very happy.
I love that you call him Mike Joyce. Like that's his name.
It is his name.
Mike Joyce. No, but it's not Mike or Michael. It's Mike Joyce.
No, it's Mike. Always Mike. I'm a first and last name person constantly.
Mike
Joyce. Mike Joyce.
Mike, you have something big coming up next week.
Yes.
Can you talk about it?
PDJF, please.
Yes. So today's PDJF Day across America, and this is the anniversary of the basically the day, but it's like the week that the fund was founded. I think 19 years ago now. God, it's been a while. And so it's an awareness day, but also next weekend we are bringing back for the first time since 2019 the jockey karaoke.
Has it been since 2019?
First of all, thank you to Billy and Little Red Feather and Gary Fenton, because they've been a sponsor each and every year, and they're sponsoring again this year. Thank you so much for that, because the sponsorship money really is where we make a lot of our coin in these events. But yeah, so it was kind of like a shotgun preparation, because usually we lock up the venue, the belly up. We're making calls in like October, November, make sure we have it for the following July. We just got the venue locked up in May. I was like, you think we could pull this off? So, but the jockeys are really excited about it. I mean, because there's a lot of jockeys in this room that weren't here the last time they did it at Del Mar. First of all, we have Joe Bravo and Florent coming in. They've done it so many years in Saratoga. We kind of get that influx of singing talent. Jess Pfeiffer's never done it. She's super stoked about it. And then everyone that had done it before is really excited.
Yeah. Do you have any what they're going to be singing? Do you have any like prep that you could maybe leak?
No. So, well, first of all, if I did, I'd want to leave it as a surprise. But what we're doing is we have a practice night. We call it a practice night. It's going to be like auditions, I think, because we have so many. We want to keep it to 10 acts. We don't want it to be a 4-hour show. We want to keep it to like 2 hours. So we want to keep it to, somewhere in 8 to 10 acts. So Tuesday night, we're all getting together. I'm going to bring the actual DJ who's going to be the karaoke DJ the night of, and we're going to get together and have like a party, get the jockeys all liquored up, and get the liquid courage flowing through their veins, and then they'll start singing, and that's where it all comes from.
I have a question, or actually, I have a suggestion, because I was there last time.
Yeah,
I think you should limit the time of the song itself.
Right.
Like,
so not do a whole song.
It's like 2 minutes, cut like whatever the middle bridge is or something like that. So it doesn't have to be the whole song. What happened was it just kind of, the songs went on. I think the jockeys got even up there. They started losing their dance moves. I remember Baby Shark. I mean, Baby Shark is great. We all loved it. It was funny.
But we don't need 6 minutes of Baby Shark.
Correct. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It got a little. And then
Mike, can the general public come to jockey karaoke?
Yes, go to pdjf.org. The first thing you'll see on that homepage is where you can buy tickets. $75 for general admission, $150 for VIP. Now, VIP, the doors open an hour earlier, and you get dinner. You have reserved seatings. You get to hang out with all the jockeys and the judges and all the celebrities that like celebrities like Todd Trupp. It includes dinner. So it's great. And then also, and the other thing is that the Belly Up's a great venue, but the $150 to have a place to seat is big, because it's a long show. Yeah. And so if you're general admission, you might be standing the whole time, which some people, the young legs can handle that. Us old folk, we want somewhere to sit. You also get 2 drink tickets when you get a VIP as well. So a couple of drinks.
Mike, my mom is watching, and she just texted and asked if Simon Bray was going to be there.
Simon Bray will definitely be there. He is going to be there. Yeah.
But not singing.
But that's big for her.
It's not. I don't think he's not much of the musical sort, right? So I can't get him. I'm going to try to convince him to sing, but I don't think it'll happen.
Is there a morning line favorite, a jock that you think has got it? I think Drayden was pretty good last year. I remember Giovanni Franco's not here anymore. He was really good. Talamo obviously is dominant. He's not here anymore. Is there somebody that we should be looking for that you're excited to see?
I've got 2 words for you. Florent Giroux.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
He's bringing sexy back. All right, you guys. So our picks are in the book for today's upcoming San Diego Handicap. Thank you so much for everybody that's been joining us for Beach Boss. We'll do this every single week. We'll just have a new 3rd member of the crew. Don't forget, it is PDJF Day, so you can go to pdjf.org to donate and look at those tickets for Jockey Karaoke. I know that myself and Billy will be there. Obviously, Mike Joyce going to be there hosting the whole shebang. And we do have contests coming up this week at Del Mar. So if you like to play handicapping, head on over to dmc.com/contest. There is an on-track 2-day contest going on. I believe it's a $3,000 or $5,000 buy-in, somewhere in that vicinity.
5,000 buy-in, 3,500
Thank
buy-in.
you. $5,000 buy-in live money play. So look forward to that as well. Thank you again, everybody that joined us. We'll catch you next week here on Beach Boss.
Mike, which way is it to the beach?
That way.
Beach Boss.